And what we have is queen of pudding. Now I think queen of pudding is one of those desserts that we don't do anymore, and it's a really lovely dessert. And I think it was sort of made up, I think. Well, I had a quick read of Mrs. Beeton this morning, but it's quite a long time ago. And it's a very economical dessert. It's something very comforting about it, I think. And what I've done this year is, normally you would do a sort of a raspberry jam or something jam. I've made some rhubarb jam. So we're going to put rhubarb. I think rhubarb is one of the essential English fruits that we have, and I think we need to promote that again with the whole theme of being British, really. So, first, what do we do first? We have to infuse the milk, and you're best if you can use full fat milk. It's not one for the light-hearted, but it's not too heavy. But I think, you know, when you're cooking sometimes, things like single cream and semi-skimmed milk don't really work. You know, you want the full potential of what that ingredient's about. So, full fat cream, full fat milk, all the nice stuff. And then, if you really feel guilty, then put semi-skimmed milk in your coffee. But so into that, we're going to add some another little grate, Angela, and it's the lamb in the oven, Angela. We're going to grate it, we're going to infuse the milk with some nice lemon so it gives a little bit of freshness to it. And then it's a very simple dessert. We're just going to add some white breadcrumbs and some nice sugar. And I'd like half a vanilla pod, which I've missed off the recipe, so if you want to put vanilla on, I think it always adds a little bit more. With the lamb in the oven for 20 minutes. Yeah. So, make sure you get an unwaxed lemon, or if not, make sure you wash it well. And then you're just going to, a whole lemon, I think you want a whole one in this one, because it gives it a really wonderful, and it sharpens it up, because it is quite rich, there's quite a bit of sugar and yolks and things. But as I said, it's a dessert that we don't see very often. Vanilla pod, always use vanilla extract, is not vanilla. I don't know what it's made of actually, but it's certainly not what I call vanilla. It has a rather sort of a flavour that is definitely not authentic, contrived. So always use good vanilla pod. I know they're not expensive, but I know they are expensive, sorry. But the good thing about it is they have many uses, even if you use them once. Okay. And what we tend to do here is split them straight down the middle. Like that, so you're exposing the wonderful little beans in the middle, and that's what you want, okay? And I'm literally going to be quite wasteful, well not wasteful, extravagant I suppose I would. Scrape that out, and that's what you're looking for, that wonderful vanilla paste there.
But presumably you put the empty pods in your jar of pasta sugar.
Thank you, madam. One with my own heart, made fugal, I like that, yes. Don't throw that away. Because that will then infuse, put it in your jar of sugar, and that, believe me, within about a week you'll have vanilla sugar, which then you can use for these sort of recipes. And then it's constant rolling, and just leave it in there forever, it won't hurt, and it will keep infusing wonderfully. And it is wonderful. The best vanilla normally is from Madagascar, which is the same as black peppercorns. They're wonderful. That goes on to just simmer. I'm just going to bring it up to blood temperature really, and let it just sit for a while. Now, what we have here, and then we've got our egg yolks. We've directed our egg yolks and egg whites. We've split those. We've got 25 grams of sugar. One's going to go in with the egg yolks for our custard base, and one's going to go to whisk up for our meringues on the top. White breadcrumbs. Now, when you're doing breadcrumbs, just make sure you take the crust off, because you don't want any crust in there really, because it spoils the colour of it really. They absorb a bit more because it's obviously a bit tougher. They're wonderful soft breadcrumbs, and you want to be nice fresh. Don't try and use dried, because what happens is they'll absorb twice as much liquid, and you'll end up with a very, very hard custard, and not nice soft one. Okay, and as I said, this is some lovely rhubarb jam. Lucy, my pastry chef, made a couple of weeks ago, and I know it doesn't set like a lot of, because it doesn't contain any pectin really. We're going to put in our breadcrumbs. Now normally I'd probably do this a little bit longer, but it's warm through, it's infused anyway. So, and that goes onto our breadcrumbs, and we want to leave that really for about 10 to 15 minutes just to let them infuse. Thank you, Joanna. There's our nice egg whites, things. It's just absorbing. The good thing about fresh thing, they absorb quite quickly. And I'm going to just beat in the egg yolks and the sugar. Can I have a whisk, Joanna, please? Whisk, small whisk. They want to see me whisk egg whites by hand. Put that in. Squeeze it around a little bit. You just want to break that vanilla in. So then I tend to just pour this into a little dish like we've got here, and I would just put a sheet of paper underneath it to stop the contact. So we're not going to be cooking the bain-marie, but if you put that on metal, that will start to boil at the bottom. So put a bit of a sheet of paper under it, put that on it, pour it in, and then you get a nice set like that. Okay, so that's how it's going to fit. Out of the way. Into there we're going to have our egg whites. Okay, and we're going to whisk those and just a touch of salt, not much, just to break, and the salt breaks the almond down. Okay, we need to break that up. A lot of people, if they're making meringues, put vinegar and things in it. I really don't like all that. A pinch of salt's the best. I've had meringues before where it's been more vinegar than meringue, if you know what I mean. It's nice. A little lemon juice will break it down, but I say just a touch of salt. And we're just going to whisk that. Now when you're whisking egg whites, best to do it if you've got a copper bowl, fantastic, but you'll need to clean it well before you use it, because copper's the best thing for actually whisking egg white. If not stainless steel, make sure it's very clean, make sure you've wiped it out and no grease in it. If there's any one piece of grease or one, as you know, with a bit of yolk in it, you'll be here for days. Right, so there you have a nice peaked egg white, okay? And what we're going to do then is I'm literally going to spoon some of this jam on there, and I think you want to have a nice spoonful. Don't be tight with it, nothing. The good thing about these, you can make them up like this, finish them off later if you want, put the egg white on, then put them in the oven, cook them, or cook them and then put them back in the fridge and have them cold. I do think it works just slightly at room temperature, because custard, that sort of lush, you know, what we're trying to aim for is much more comforting, slightly warm than it is cold, but they will work either way. So, again, you can see it's nice and smooth, nice colour on it, and we're aiming so when we eat it, you get that lovely chewiness that you get in the meringue, fresh out of the oven. You do like lemon meringue higher, really, but I do like it when it's slightly chewy. I'm not going to put a knot on it, we're just going to use the end, but take the end off, like that. Okay, and then I'm just going to do a little like that, and then maybe do a little like a little crown. Put some more in the middle, and then I like to dust it with icing sugar. That helps to create a crust and starts to brown caramelise on the top, so when it comes out it's got a nice crisp crust on it.
Okay, we've just tasted a fantastic pudding that Brian created earlier, which I think was called
Queen's pudding.
Queen's pudding, and the bit that we particularly liked was the rhubarb layer just above the baked custard.
It was a jam, but it had no pectin in it, so it hadn't set, it wasn't all gooey, but it was just grinning really sharp and just like lightened it up, you know, gave it a little bit, because it's quite sweet. It's a bit savoury, soury bite to it, I think.
Not a pudding I've ever tried before, but I will definitely be giving it a go at home.
Quite cheap as well, not, you know, if you've got no money, and it's very cheap to create, I think.
We'll have a go this weekend.
It's great, really nice. Thank you.